You've all, of course, heard the old joke that the visitors that we're getting coming over the channel, and obviously you know who I'm referring to. They are doctors, nurses, engineers, teachers, and all the rest of it. We've heard it time and time again. And of course, when you get these public institutions full of people from other places, obviously the makeup changes, the demographic of those institutions change very much so. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a little while further down the route of this video. But it creates big problems for those of us that are here already. Now, there's a tweet here that came up, and credit to Thomas Sowell quotes, "Some NHS patients will feel more comfortable speaking in their native language." Rupert Lowe basically says, I don't care. That's what he says to a lot of things that are completely irrelevant to the message. I mean, have a listen to this. This is pretty stereotypical.
The NHS exists to provide the best possible care to patients. Now, some of those patients will feel more comfortable speaking in their native language.
I don't care.
Right?
I have no interest in that.
Well, fine. Like
they should speak English. They live in England. They should speak English.
Doctors take the NHS.
I don't care. I have no interest in that. If they live here, they work here, they speak English. End of story. I have had some recent experience with the NHS. What we have to understand with the NHS is that it's on its knees, really. They're completely overstretched. I had a local A&E department not far from me. I won't name the hospital, but they had a multi-million-pound revamp done of their accident and emergency department, and it's worse than ever. You can't get in the place. It's always full. It's just organized chaos, and some days are far worse than others. And when you walk in the place, you realize straight away that the staff in there are not of this country, originally. And you've got loads of kids who want to go to universities. They want to do nursing degrees and all the rest of it. They want to do good. And you look in the hospitals and you think, well, where the hell are they? The doctors as well. Where the hell are they? Where are all of those doctors gone that you remember of the old days? And the recent experience I had, I lost a very close relative at the end of last year. And part of the experience was the fact that there was some communication problems. In fact, there was a few communication problems. And one of the things you have to realize is when time is critical, when time is of the essence, then language becomes crucial. You need to understand what is going on, where we are. And if you're not going to make any efforts to speak English, or at least improve your level of English, then what the hell are you doing here, especially in positions like that? And Rupert Lowe has gone on many TV stations and turned around and said, I don't care, you speak English or you go. And the BBC is one of them. In fact, I don't think I see him on the BBC very much anymore, because he's come out with stuff like that and completely humiliated these lefty idiots who try and preach DEI to all of us. It's really that straightforward. Now, at the end of the day, the NHS isn't the only place, is it? You have police forces now who have the same issue, probably more so in the bigger cities. Taxi drivers, my own trade. I remember a guy who took his knowledge test the same time I did. he couldn't understand any of the questions, and that kept having to call the examiner over. You know, other trades too. It is absolutely unreal what's going on. Now, I did a quick search online for English language requirements for the NHS, and you can see the information here. So NHS England language requirements for overseas professionals generally necessitate an IELTS academic score of 7 to 7.5 or an OET, Occupational English Test, grade B or higher, to demonstrate proficiency for registration. These standards are mandatory for nurses, midwives, doctors, and allied health professionals to ensure safe, effective patient care. So is that really what's happening? Key English language requirements, NMC, nurses, midwives, IELTS, reading, listening, speaking, 7, writing 6.5 or OET, grade B in all modules. Medical doctors, 7.5 or higher. Allied health professionals, similar to nurses, 7 with no element below 6.5. Tests are generally valid for 2 years. So I wonder what happens after the 2 years. Or you've got, if you are national of a majority English-speaking country, Australia, Canada, USA, or New Zealand, if you have a recent postgrad qualification or working for a minimum period in a country where England is the first language, ensure your chosen test is a secure English language test recognised by the relevant UK regulator or Home Office. So there is some provision there for it, but whether it's being adhered to in the strictest sense is anybody's guess. I know my own experience, and it wasn't a very good one. And there was a fella that came onto Rupert Lowe's Twitter feed not so long ago and basically called him every name under the sun, which is something that we're going to get, let's face it. And he said, well, I had a very good experience. I went into the hospital I was in. Everyone spoke absolutely fine English. I was helped. I was treated. There was no problem at all. Didn't specify what hospital that was, but I guess we're going to get differing problems depending on the part of the country we're actually in, and the spread of the population, the spread of the demographic. It's all going to be very, very dependent on what's going on, I would believe. But overall, and he's quite brutal there with his takedown. Don't care if they're here, if they're working. They speak English. It's as simple as that. There's one more tweet here from a Rupert Lowe interview. You live in England, you speak English. Everything you do should be in English. Damn right, Rupert Lowe. It's just common sense. Who else completely agrees? Now, this is from, I think it was a Peter McCormack interview, which was done. We'll play this very, very quickly.
Something else. Everything that we do should be in English. No translation fees. None of the other nonsense that's going on throughout the public sector and throughout Britain nowadays. If you come here, you speak English. End of story. That doesn't matter. It's the NHS, whatever you come to. You live by our laws. You respect our culture. You integrate, and you speak English. Tell you something else. Everything that we do should be in English. No translation.
So there you go. Quite a brutal assessment there. And you've got another thing here where he says it again. And, this is another point as well. Whenever you turn around and say something where you really have the best interests of your own people in your head and the best interests of their health and welfare and everything else, immediately you're branded as the R word, or you're some kind of phobic. I don't care either. That's what people have to start responding to that garbage with. I don't care, because it just silences it, pushes it away straight away, and puts it back in its box where it should be, in the garbage pile. This is the excuse that the other side use to try and stem debate, and it's no good. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share my stuff. I'll talk to you soon. Toodaloo.